So let me introduce you Stephen Hughes, a British member of the European Parliament and the Vice President of the Socialist and Democratic group in the European Parliament, who is dealing, let's say, most of the time of his career, he is dealing with the social issues and helping people that are in real need all around Europe. I wanted to ask you, actually, in accordance to the International Memorial Workers' Day, what is your, let's say, what opinion about the state of play in the European Parliament, especially regarding asbestos as asbestosis, as one of the diseases most, let's say, in Slovenia will be commemorated with a special events on the 28th of April. So what is the state of play?
Yeah, most of my parliamentary life has been dealing with health and safety issues, and asbestos has been a constant theme through all of the years I've been a member of the European Parliament. In fact, the very first report I did way back in the mid-1980s was seeking a phased 10-year ban on all marketing and use of asbestos within the European Union. We eventually achieved that, but what we want to do now is take that a step further and achieve a global ban on the marketing and use of asbestos, because it is lethal. Workers' Memorial Day needs to mark the continuing death toll resulting from our past and present exposure to asbestos. I'm now commissioned in the Employment Committee of the Parliament to produce a new report, and one of the things we're calling for is standard rules across the European Union for the recognition and diagnosis and compensation of diseases related to exposure to asbestos. Asbestosis is a classic one, for example. Mesothelioma is another. We need to have these clearly recognised across the European Union.
That's exactly the problem that we are facing right now in Slovenia. And we would like to know if you maybe can help us with some best practices or some ideas how to tackle this problem on a systematic way. Because our legislation is quite good, it's quite modern, it could be compared to many European legislation around European Union countries. That's why my question would be, do you have any best practices recommendations about how to deal with that?
I think as part of the work on this report, we will produce a recommendation for a classification of industrial diseases related to asbestos, that should become the standard across the European Union. The standard of practice in my own country is actually very good. We have one or two failings in the area of health and safety, but in relation to asbestos, we've got a pretty good record. That might serve as one model for the recognition and diagnosis and compensation of diseases like asbestosis and mesothelioma. I think as well, one other outstanding issue that we need right across the European Union, in your country and mine, is a survey and clear identification of all former areas of production of asbestos, and a classification of all buildings that still contain asbestos, because that's a real danger for workers, maintenance and other workers who come across asbestos. As long as it's sealed, it's fine, but as soon as it's opened, it's a real problem, a real danger. Our first priority is to look at the large amounts of asbestos that are tied up in our schools right across the European Union, and that is a real danger. If that's exposed in schools, it could lead to those children contracting mesothelioma 30 or 40 years in the future. We need to stop that now.
Great. Thank you very much for this information. These are exactly the questions that we are going to talk about on Thursday all day in Soukan, a very special place that we're dealing with asbestos for the last 25 years, and it's really a memory of what shouldn't be the practices in the European Union. That's why we organize all these events on Thursday. Thank you very much for this information, and we will follow your work. And
good luck with the conference on Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.